Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Amar Elm, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are absolutely thrilled to be joined by Samantha Kelly, formerly known as the Tweeting Goddess, an award-winning social media strategist, branding advisor, community builder, and founder of Samantha Kelly Media.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to Founder.
Thank you so much. That's the introduction. Yeah, we're in the middle of a rebrand at the moment, so I appreciate that.
Yes,
Samantha
yes,
Kelly
yes.
Media will be live soon.
Awesome. I always like to start from the beginning. So take me back to before you started your company. What were you doing beforehand? And then what was really the motivation behind starting Samantha Kelly Media?
Yeah, it was about 12 years ago. I was about to hit 40. My daughter has two hearing aids. She was about to start mainstream school, and my marriage had just broken up, and my father had just passed away.
Mm.
So before any of this happened, I was in that stage of my life where I was thinking, what do I do now? My daughter starts school, I'll have a bit of free time. I was good at customer service, I was good at sales, but I really didn't know what I wanted to do.
Mm.
And then my other daughter was 11. So she came to that awkward milestone of her first period, which is a big taboo topic. And I felt sorry for her. So I went to the shop to get her a little gift box. And I discovered that there were no gift boxes. So all these ducks were lined up, the marriage failing, my daughter starting school, I was about to be 40, and my dad passing away. That I said, oh, maybe I'll start a business for a gift box for a girl's first period. So that was where my journey started, a totally different business, totally by out of necessity, but also I had no money. Like I had no good bank record because I was on my own at this stage. And I was a lone parent on social welfare with two daughters. And so I decided that I would create this business. I called it Funky Goddess. And you can see where this is going with the goddess part. It was Funky Goddess because I wanted it to be cool for teenagers. And I learned so much just by starting that business because I got a little loan of €1,000 off my mom to buy stock. And I just used the internet to research the whole area and was there an audience, was there customers, were there people that were going to buy this? And I did a survey, I handed them out at the school sports day. Like I did everything old school, handed out questionnaires to the girls who were that age, but also to the moms and dads, and to find out would they actually like to get one of these gift boxes. And it turned out one of the biggest learning curves for me was I started on Twitter. My sister put me on Twitter. She did my website. She's a web designer, so she kindly did my website for me. And then she put me on Twitter and said, you need to start using this and tell people about your marketing your business. I was like, I had no idea. I barely had a Facebook page. So I had to learn how to use social media.
Yeah.
And when the girls were asleep in bed, I was lonely. So I discovered how lonely it could be as a business owner. So I started building a community around me of other business owners. And I discovered to my delight that I was very good on Twitter and that I was very good at building communities around me. And that's where it started.
When did you realize that maybe you are onto something with this social media stuff and you can help other people as opposed to just doing the company that you were doing before?
I realized it when one night I was frustrated myself and I decided I saw the power of hashtags and Twitter chats and I decided to start a Twitter chat. And I said, okay, everybody, the government's not going to help us. Let's just help each other. If you're a business owner, let's say hi, tell me what you do, and use the hashtag Irish Biz Party. And so we started a hashtag called Irish Biz Party, and it trended on Twitter that day. I was on the radio the next day. So the media were interested. And I was like, huh, this is strange. Why am I getting so much attention? All I was doing was something good. But it made me realize as well the power of doing good and using the power of social media for good. And I started seeing sales happening, which was lovely because I could see people connecting and saying, oh my God, my mother would love one of those. Where can I buy it? And
Oh,
sales were happening right in front of me. So Yeah, so I saw the power of creating a community of business owners because I realized I wasn't the only one feeling isolated. I wasn't the only one feeling frustrated. So I said, "Well, sure, we can help each other. Maybe there's collaborations we can do." And I just saw the power of kindness as well. People have been very kind to me when I was starting out, maybe just cool, like cool entrepreneur guys that I thought, oh, they'd never talk to me. And I'd end up sitting having a cup of tea with them. And
Wow.
that kind of thing. And I realized how powerful and how much of an impression that made on me. Like one of the guys, Bill Liao, I'm still friends with him today. I was talking to him last week. We're still friends. And I often quote him in things, and it's really cool. So that's really when I realized like social media, the power of it, because the media were watching too. So I was on the radio the next day. Journalists were always looking for different guests on different things. And I realized when I had clients that like my customers, they had stories as well. And one of my friends was a poet and he was a writer and he was a widower and he had three daughters. When his wife passed away, he had three young daughters and he had to do all this. He had to go to the supermarket and he had to do all this. And he's such a lovely writer. He told that story really eloquently. And so I put
Mm.
it on my website. Next thing, he was on national radio telling that story. That's really when I saw it.
That is so powerful. To me, a big takeaway from the story that you just shared is not being afraid, or even if you are afraid, just putting yourself out there regardless. Because you never know the snowball effect of being on radio, meeting up with cool people, seeing
Mm.
sales happen in front of you. I'd love to fast forward today to give the listeners more context into what Samantha Kelly Media looks like. Walk me through who would you say is your ideal customer? Who do you love to work with? And then from there, we can dive into the different offers and services that you provide.
Sure. First of all, that first company that I had to learn the skills to market my business. I think most business owners will have to do that. They have to wear a lot of hats. But I did sell that company. And then when I had sold it, somebody had asked me how I got so good on Twitter, and that's where Tweeting Goddess came from. I decided to change the name just so people know in case they're wondering where Tweeting Goddess came from. But yeah, Samantha Kelly Media, the reason I had to change it, we were talking about this earlier. The reason I had to change it is because I had to do a pivot because small business owners and entrepreneurs are wonderful doing pivots. But yeah, Tweeting Goddess was a Twitter expert and I had 70,000 followers on Twitter. I wrote two books about Twitter. I was doing presentations all over the world about Twitter, and then Twitter changed to X because certain someone came along and changed it to X. So I was like, oh no, I can't call myself X Goddess because I might get a different audience. So I decided, okay, we're going to have to do something here. And then I asked my clients, what is it that I do for you? Like sometimes we forget to ask our customers what it is and why they work with us. And I did that. And they said, actually, you're an executive branding, personal branding expert. I said, am I? I didn't know that. I thought I was a LinkedIn expert now. So anyway, I do a lot of LinkedIn now because LinkedIn is B2B like Twitter was. So I was already on LinkedIn. And now Samantha Kelly Media just made sense because I do a lot of different types of media. I do LinkedIn Lives, I do video, I'm not an expert on video. I'm not an expert on editing, certainly not, but I have people on my team who are. So I have a team around me that I outsource to. So I'm helping other freelancers as well along the way. And I like to highlight them. So what I do now is I help people raise their profile online and amplify their presence, their online presence, because I think people there's so much noise out there, you really have to stand out. And if you are an expert in your niche, you really need to stand out, especially with AI, the era of AI. And I am not an AI expert, but I can tell you that AI, people are searching on AI for things now rather than Google search. I found myself doing it the other day, actually, looking for the top four something. I can't remember what it was, but I searched on ChatGPT for that instead of Google. I was like, what am I doing? And I went, other people are doing this too. And I did a bit of research, and yes, they are apparently. So it's really something that to be aware of that if you're not already the top expert that people are searching for or finding when they search, it's time to really up your game and stand out because there's so much noise out there.
Mm. Do you work with, like, when it comes to the ideal client, is there any specific demographic or psychographic that you like to focus on?
It's usually someone who's already got a bit of a profile, like people would know their name, but they don't have time. to do LinkedIn, or they don't have time or the strategy behind it. They might just be going along, but they don't have a strategy. They want to stand out and become the go-to expert in their niche. They might have changed their niche, for example, or it could be someone that is an expert in their niche, but they're seeing their competitors get loads of opportunities and they're not happy about it because they're the best. So it's to show, make sure that they stand out as the best so that they get those opportunities. And it could be speaking moments, it could be media opportunities. I have a lot of relationships that I've built up with journalists, for example, and I get some of my clients featured in the media as well. But I'm not a PR person, but I'm definitely someone that can amplify and get your business noticed.
Very cool. Walk me through, what would you say is a typical client engagement look like? Are we working together for 3 months, 6 months, and what are the deliverables? Walk me through that.
Okay, so let's say you came to me, right? And you're a host and you want to do more emceeing at events, let's say, right? So because you have a great voice, you look good. It's okay, so we need to figure out who your target audience are. How are we going to get to those event organizers? I do a 6 week program. So we would actually get your story, get a press release out. I would show you how to find these people on LinkedIn that are actually hiring MCs. I'm just using you as an example. I don't even know if you want to do MC, but I'm just giving you as an example. I would get people, show you how to find those people on LinkedIn, show you the events that they're attending, the events that are coming up that you would be a potential good MC fit for, create a speaker sheet. So we would do all of that, optimize your LinkedIn, create a LinkedIn newsletter so that you can reconnect with your audience. LinkedIn newsletters are great, by the way. And
Mm.
then I would even suggest that you did a little LinkedIn live giving some tips on how to host a podcast, whatever your niche is, whatever your area of expertise. Like, I'm not going to ask you, if you came on a LinkedIn live with me, I'm not going to ask you to talk about how to knit jumpers because chances are that's not your happy place to talk about that. But if I asked you to help me give some tips on hosting a podcast, I'm sure you could get me loads of tips about that. It's you will always, when you're working with me, it's the 6 week program is the main one. And then there's other ways where I can maybe manage your LinkedIn page, the company page. I'm really good at company pages because they're neglected an awful lot. And it really is all about building a community around the brand. And then I also have a mastermind group starting 16th of September. And that would be a group of 10 people that just really want to raise their profile and help each other and collaborate.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for breaking that down.
You're
Two,
welcome.
excuse me. I'd love to shift a little bit to the back end of the business. When it comes to lead generation, when it comes to customer acquisition, what are you doing from a marketing standpoint to bring on more clients into Samantha Kelly Media?
Because I'm in the middle of a rebrand right now, I'm actually getting sales funnels and all of that sorted. Because usually what I do is LinkedIn messages is where the magic happens, folks. LinkedIn messages. If anyone is in my connections, I would love to work with them, let's say. And I might just see them coming across me, my profile, my feed. I click the bell, the little notification bell, and I keep an eye on them and I engage with them and I build a relationship with them. And then usually I do LinkedIn lives and they would see my LinkedIn lives. I always invite them to the LinkedIn live if I think that they might like the topic. So when I do that, they tend to message me. So I
Yeah,
don't actually have to do much running around because once they see what you're like, they get a feel for your personality. I can message any of those people anytime. And I might say, now, I will be honest with you that the last 2 months were fairly quiet for summer, which is a big challenge for business owners anyway, I think, in summertime. But it's a great time for you to stand out. And it's a great time for you to do the background stuff for your business. So what I started doing was I did a summer offer. And I said, you know what? I'll do a summer offer, €97 for 1 hour call. And I promised them I'd send them 5 content ideas after the call. And I got loads of them. And that's all I did was message people who had shown interest before. And I said, look, I'm doing this for summer if you're interested. And there's always a way. But at the moment, it's just they come to me because they'd see me talking or they'd see me engaging on their posts, or I'd send them a DM if I have an offer. That's how I get them.
yeah. Okay, very interesting. So it's cool that you went the summer offer route to drum up more business essentially. Have you thought about adding any other lead generation channels to be able to consistently, predictably attract more clients? Is that something that you thought about?
Yeah, and I have a lady working on it at the moment because I'm doing the whole rebrand. I need to have a proper sales funnel. And when I started out in my business, I didn't even know what a funnel was. So
Yeah.
it's all that kind of stuff that's really important. That I have a lead magnet where it's the 5 ways to reconnect with your audience on LinkedIn that people can download from tweetinggoddess.com, which is still there at the moment until I rebrand and change over. But yeah, I think yeah, definitely. I think now, especially with AI, it's really important to make sure that you have that kind of technology or those steps in place if you're going to be running a business. And I didn't for a long time. So this is why I'm trying to do it properly now.
Nice. Nice. Do you know what that funnel is going to look like structure wise, what the call to action is going to be, all that good stuff?
Yeah, there'll be a downloadable thing. There'll be a form you can fill in. I have a form at the moment that I send people, and it just sorts the tire kickers out from the serious people. I will also have a webinar, free webinar, and then on that webinar, then they have an option to go to another stage, and that's a paid thing. And so
Okay.
that's the way I do it.
Okay, very cool. And is the idea to get them to book a call with you to convert into a client afterwards?
Yeah, usually I have a form, and if they don't, if they say they can't, they haven't invested a certain amount of money in their business so far, I don't actually get in a call with them.
So they don't have the option to book it. But if they do, I guess, pass that criteria, they can book a call.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool. Yeah,
I've gone on lots of calls before and waste of time.
it's very important to add friction into the funnel,
Yeah,
especially to weed out the tire kickers, like you were saying.
yeah.
I'm curious, when you think of the future and you think of over the next 12 months where you want to take the company, are there any specific revenue targets, performance targets, or just goals in general that you're aiming for?
I have a new show I'm starting, the Samantha Kelly show. I was
Nice.
trying to think of a fancy name, and I said, you know what? I'll just keep it simple and just call it the Samantha Kelly show because my brand Tweeting Goddess has such a good digital footprint. I really have to start using the name more, my own name. And so I have a show. I'm going to start interviewing business owners like this, interviewing business owners about and getting some tips and some value. And I'll go live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter all at the same time. And then it'll be on YouTube. And then I can chop it up and then I can make it into a transcript and all that kind of cool stuff. So that's where AI comes in, folks. It's so powerful for repurposing your content. And I just think it's time because initially, the good thing about a show, if you have a show, you can get sponsors. So if you, I run events. I have a social media fest on the 26th of November, and we have virtual tickets. A lot of people join us virtually as well. But like that social media fest, we have sponsors that want to get in front of that small business audience. So if you have a show that people want, that brands want to get in front. Community is really important now. And you don't have to have 10,000 followers. You could have 4,000 followers, but it could be really engaged community that you have around you. So the brands want to get in front of engaged business communities in particular. So that's my aim, that I'll get a nice sponsor out of it as well. So
There you go. There you go. That's exciting. Are there any other goals that you'd add to that?
I think to make sure that the site and everything is properly set up funnel wise, absolutely, so that I'm not making the same mistakes I made the past 2 years.
Got it. Are you thinking of running ads to that site, or is it going to be more of an organic funnel?
Good question. It's usually organic with me. However, we used Facebook ads and Instagram ads for the Social Media Fest virtual tickets last year, and it worked really well. I
Mhm.
think we got 2,500 worth of sales and we spent 400, something like that. And it's not all in one go, it's bit by bit. So I think for small business owners, I think they're a very good option. And I think I will probably invest in Facebook ads, definitely. I think
Yeah,
for just this, just to get them on the webinar, even that part. Yeah, it's all, look, we're all learning all the time. And I think with AI, there are so many tools out there, we really need to learn how to use them properly. So if anyone is teaching that stuff, get on that course, learn from them. I know that I have to learn as well, and I am learning bit by bit, but I think what's going to make it doesn't matter how good you are at AI if you're an idiot. So if you're not a nice person And if you're not a good person, I'm making you laugh. If you're not a good person and if you're not delivering, when people do come to you and are your customers and you're not looking after them and you're not delivering what you say you will deliver, you're not going to have a business after long.
100%. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think it's wise to run ads to either the webinar, or you could even have it be like an application funnel where somebody comes in, you have a specific offer, and
Mm.
then you have them fill out an application, then they can book a call. We've had a lot of success with that, and a lot of the people that we've worked with have had a lot of success with that. And I think you would do well if you gave that a shot.
Thank you. Yeah. And for people listening, like, how can we help you?
If you know anybody looking to scale their business, have them reach out to us on closers.io. Specifically coaches, consultants, or agency owners. That's who we like to work with. That's really the main thing. Yeah, and also if people are looking for sales reps, we also place sales reps in
Do
countries.
you?
Well, yeah.
Interesting. That's
hmm
very interesting. And because I think that's a really good offering, isn't it? Like the fact that you do that. Because a lot of business owners are great at what they do, but they're not good at sales.
Yes, and a lot of times what we find is that the owner thinks they need a sales rep, but really they don't have enough leads to support a good sales rep. So that's another thing that we help people with is how do you build a predictable and consistent lead generation process where you
Yeah.
even have the ability to attract a great sales rep. Because obviously they need to be paid, and a lot of times they're paid 100% commission. So
Yeah.
you need the opportunity flow to do that. So that's really the first thing that we do. And a lot of times what we find is that once we fix that problem and we help them with their sales skills a little bit, they can close at a very high percentage. 30, 40, 50%, because the founder is different than a sales rep. Sales reps typically close less than a founder if the founder is good at sales, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. It's up to us to get the sale on the call.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Well, that's really good to know. I should definitely interview you in my show.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to. Yeah.
And that's what it's about. And that's how I roll. So I don't know how many of your guests asked you how they could help you. It's really important that we help each other because
Yeah.
there's plenty for everybody.
Yeah. Very few people have actually asked me that. So I appreciate you.
Mm, you're welcome.
What is the best way for people to reach out to you to work with you?
LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm tweeting goddess on Instagram. Oh no, I changed it yesterday. It's Samantha Kelly Media on Instagram. But LinkedIn is the best way to get me. Tweetinggoddess.com at the moment, but it will be samanthakelly.media. So it is a kind of a, by the time this goes out, probably samanthakelly.media. But LinkedIn is the best way to get me, Samantha Kelly. And yeah, I'm always happy to connect. I'm always happy to engage. And if you need anything shared, don't be afraid to tag me on Twitter as well, because I have a lot of followers there. It's Samantha Kelly. It's at Tweeting Goddess on Twitter still.
Awesome. Any final words before we wrap up?
I suppose if anyone does want to raise their profile, definitely reach out to me. I'd love to help. I think my main thing is be kind to others, share your knowledge, help people along the way, and build a community around your brand because brand advocates are going to do your marketing for you. So if you keep looking after them, they will look after you back. And don't be too hard on yourself. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, just stop doing it. There's plenty of other things you can do, and you don't have to be alone. There's lots of communities out there. And if you want to connect with someone in my connections, just ask.
Awesome. Awesome. Samantha, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
So that wraps up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to reach out to Samantha if you want to amplify your personal brand. You can reach her, Samantha Kelly Media, on Instagram, Samantha Kelly on LinkedIn, samanthakelly.media for the website. It'll most likely be live by the time this comes out. And you said Tweeting Goddess on X. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm still tweeting Goddess on X. Yeah.
Beautiful. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or an agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to book a call with our team to discover how we went from 0 to $30 million in 26 months, and how you can implement similar strategies. Until then, keep on climbing.